sure what it is they want. They want a bill, an alternative bill that spends $1.5 trillion and opens up free health care benefits to non-citizens. I mean, that is just a non-starter. That is going nowhere.
Here tonight at 5 from Washington, the halls of Capitol Hill, a frustrated Senate Majority Leader John Thune insisting to CNN today there is no plan B for ending the government shutdown. Today marking day 21 of the government shutdown, now tying it as the second longest in U.S. history. It is our top story for you here tonight at 5. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Democrats now calling on President Trump to help end the shutdown.
A lot of people are in pain right now because of this shutdown. There is a lot of pain going around our country right now as these healthcare costs skyrocket, as people are getting their notices of what their premiums are going to be and seeing them go up 20%, 50%, 100% or more. And so the urgencies are growing, but where is the president? Why is he doing nothing?
Senator Cory Booker there saying he's stunned the president hasn't called a meeting between himself and top Democrat and Republican leaders to get a budget deal done. And the effects of the government shutdown aren't just being felt in Washington, they're being felt right here in the Commonwealth. And that's what we've been looking at today. The U.S. Department of Agriculture will not pay out SNAP benefits in November if the shutdown continues. WHAS11's Alexandra Goldberg's in Shelby County today, where a local food bank says they're expecting an influx of families in need.
Pray that the government decides to do what they need to do to take care of the people.
Kentucky food pantries are now preparing to serve an influx of families in need. Millions of Americans rely on SNAP benefits, or food stamps, to help with their grocery bills. November payments could come to a halt in Kentucky if the federal shutdown continues.
So I'm predicting our numbers are going to go up drastically to at least 100 more families.
Here in Shelbyville, Amanda Shirley runs a mid-sized food bank at the Centenary United Methodist Church. They're a Dare to Care partner.
Typically at the end of the month, as we are currently at, we are seeing about 30 to 50 families a week. And we do expect that number to stay pretty steady over the next month or so.
Amanda says at the end of the month, the volume of families in need increases at the food bank as food stamp dollars for the month run out.
A lot of families are struggling even with the assistance they currently get. Right now, they're scared. They don't know, some of them don't know how they're going to feed their kids or themselves in the next coming weeks.
More than 600,000 Kentuckians rely on SNAP benefits. Governor Andy Beshear says that's 1 in 8 people in our state. Now Tuesday is day 21 of the government shutdown, and Governor Beshear warns SNAP benefits are at stake.
The Trump administration has ordered the federal government not pay out SNAP benefits for November, and states to not pay money to the vendors.
The SNAP program is funded through the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but administered by the states, meaning impacts will vary by state.
Food pantries can only do as much as they can, but we're all going to do our part.
Amanda says in the face of uncertainty, food pantries are working harder to help their neighbors. In Shelbyville, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS 11, on your side.
Well, Governor Beshear says for Kentuckians who receive SNAP, you can use your benefits as normal for October.
Right here tonight, we're going to take a deeper look now at some of the other impacts it could have. A recent report published by the nonprofit Trust for America's Health says cuts to SNAP could inflame America's obesity issue.
In 2024, data showed the first slight national decrease in adult obesity since 2013. The report says federal actions like clawing back funds for public health programs, laying off experts working on chronic disease prevention, and limiting access to nutrition support could erase all that progress. With cuts to SNAP benefits, the report says many low-income families will turn to eating ultra-processed foods that are cheaper instead of those healthier, more expensive foods.
Meantime, another center focused on obesity research and saying it's at risk. The president's 2026 budget request proposes the near total elimination of the National Center for Chronic Disease Prevention and for Health Promotion at the CDC. Also, Other social programs will be impacted by the government shutdown, one of those being the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Program, or TANF. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says the Commonwealth hasn't received federal funding for November.
And he says the state will cover those funds in November, but in December, he can't make the same promise. Nearly 16,000 families were supported by the program in 2024. As for when the shutdown could end, the House isn't convening this week. The last time they voted was September 19th.
Although the Senate is in Washington, a vote is not on the agenda today.
And today, in his weekly update, Mayor Craig Greenberg celebrated the completion of the West Kentucky Street Corridor project, highlighting many improvements. Now, the project redesigned from the stretch from 4th to 8th Street to make it safer and more connected for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. Improvements include two-way traffic between 8th and 5th Streets, new visible crosswalks, four-way intersections at 5th and 6th Streets, rebuilt sidewalks with ADA accessibility, and a new tree canopy along the corridor.
This is what happened. This is what's possible when we listen to our residents, when we listen to organizations in our community, and we invest in our neighborhoods. I'm proud that we did here, and we're going to keep investing.
Now, Greenberg says the upgrades link key neighborhoods like California and Old Louisville and reflect the city's continued investment in West Louisville communities, long overdue for revitalization.
We're looking for those evenings coming up that are going down into the 30s. Probably talking about some frost coming up here soon. It's inevitable. We know what's going to happen.
Well, that's true. It's so beautiful out there, though, Mallory. I'm just trying to look on the positive.
I know. It's like the afternoons are very comfortable.
Yep.
The nights will be a bit chilly. Yes,
Yep.
We have 30s and 40s in our future as we carry on throughout this work week. Starting off with a live look outside from our First Savings Bank Shriners Children's camera here overlooking downtown Louisville from Jeffersonville. Another nice day. Temperatures have warmed into the upper 60s. It has been quite windy as expected. Those winds coming in from the west-southwest, gusting up to around 30 miles per hour. You'll notice a few additional clouds around today that have been swinging through the area. Some moisture showing up on radar, but most of that not reaching the ground. Maybe a couple of sprinkles in southern Indiana through this evening. Otherwise, the wind really the big factor we've been tracking today, with these wind gusts as high as 30 to 35 miles per hour in some spots. Now, your hourly wind gusts here, these should decrease somewhat, but we actually will stay fairly breezy overnight. So despite the fact that we have cooler air filtering in, it's not going to be quite as cold as it could be because that wind does keep the air a little bit more mixed. So expect those overnight lows in the 40s and then cooler temperatures on the way in terms of your highs starting tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory, thank you. More of our top stories at 5. LG&E announcing a settlement agreement that would be raising your utility bills.
The company says it's for improvements to the power grid. It's an increase of $5 per month for LG&E's residential electric customers. It's more expensive for Kentucky Utilities customers, an increase of $9 per month.
Now, this agreement marks the first rate increase since 2020. LG&E says it's dealing with a 20% inflation increase over the last 5 years. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, it's also known locally as LIHEAP. The supervisor says he sees extra people apply after the hikes.
We always hear that there's a need. Bills are extremely high. Of course, LG&E with the increased rates are always causing more influx that, a lot of folks struggle when they're trying to make ends meet. So they're extremely excited to come to us to help, with those bills.
Well, the rate hikes are actually half of what LG&E initially asked for. It still needs approval from Kentucky's Public Service Commission. It has a deadline of March to vote on it.
We have more local news for you tonight at 5 o'clock. Right now, the suspect in the killing of 2 people in the Okolona area of Louisville facing multiple charges and an increased bond tonight. 22-year-old Jasmine Brown was charged this morning with 2 counts of complicity to murder and 1 count of stolen property, a firearm. The shooting happened on the morning of September 29th. Court documents cite Brown in direct communication with 3 people who allegedly killed her 2 roommates while they were sleeping. During her hearing, the judge agreed to increase her bond from $250,000 to $1 million, saying she presents a danger.
It is the county's motion to set the bond at $1 million full cash plus HIP if posted. We deem her to be a significant danger at this time.
Okay, I agree with the county. She presents a danger, and the bond will be increased to 1 million plus HIP.
There you go. Brown was arrested Monday, pleading not guilty today during her arraignment. Again, she's currently being held in the Louisville jail.
The suspect from Monday's deadly accident in the Algonquin neighborhood pleaded not guilty today. According to police, 25-year-old Ariel Taylor was driving a Dodge pickup truck and ran a stop sign at the intersection of Wesley and McCloskey Avenue Monday night. Her truck collided with a Ford Mustang entering the roadway, fatally injuring that driver. Taylor is charged with operating a motor vehicle under the influence, vehicular homicide under the influence, and failure to maintain required insurance. She also received a no driving order during her hearing. She's currently in Metro Corrections on a $100,000 bond. Her next hearing is October 29th.
Some students in Spencer County, Kentucky had to leave school early today. According to the district's Facebook page, students at the high school and elementary school were dismissed early due to a water main break on Highway 44. The repair was prolonged, and the district said having a full day of class was just not possible. All after-school programs for elementary and middle schoolers were also canceled today.
Well, in less than an hour, there's another listening session to discuss district rezoning at the JCPS Echo Trail Middle School. The rezoning is meant to address overcrowding at Echo Trail. We told you about it, meaning some incoming sixth graders and students who are new to the area will be reassigned to Crosby Middle School. Well, tonight's listening session is at Eastern High School from 6 until 7 in the multi-purpose room.